Hey guys, welcome to or back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going through the only books I've ever given 5 stars. I don't have a lot of the copies of the books that I've given 5 stars with me because a lot of them are actually in storage when I moved out of college, but I do have some of them with me. As you guys know, I'm a pretty big reader. I like to read like every day for like a couple hours, and it's my favorite way. Excuse the birds outside, they are chirping away, but reading is my favorite way to kind of escape into a new world, and it's really fun. And so I'm really kind of picky when it comes to the books that I read. I mainly read romance books and fantasy. If you can see my shelf behind me, it's like this row's all fantasy. I haven't read Powerless yet, but I can already anticipate that that's going to be on my list. These are the books that I've read in the last couple of years that are my 5 stars. So yeah, let's just get started. Okay, so this is the first book I've ever given a 5 stars. It was the first book that really got me into reading. It is called Someone Else's Summer, and I remember picking this up at a bookstore just thinking, okay, I don't know what other book to pick, so I'll just pick this one. And it's about a girl named Anna whose sister dies in a car accident, and her sister left behind like a bucket list. So Anna decides that she's going to fulfill her sister's bucket list with her sister's best friend Cameron, and so basically the love story is between Anna and Cameron. This book is so cute, so many good moments. It's the only book I've ever reread, which is crazy because I never reread books, so I would definitely recommend this book for the summertime. So the second book that I've ever given a 5 star was the Divergent series. Now I don't have the first one because I actually donated it, but I do have the second and the third one. There's a Legion right there, because I rebought them because I'm like, I need to have them on my bookshelf because I just love them so much. I remember reading this with my friend and we were like sobbing on the phone. I don't even remember why, but it's like dystopian fiction. I haven't read this in like, I don't know, 8 years, but I really like honestly everything about this book. It follows Triss, who is divergent, and her relationship with Four, and getting into her faction of Dauntless. It's just really fun. It's kind of, is it enemies to lovers? Not really. Kind of dangerous, and I really like it. So, what was the third one? I don't have it. Oh, actually, I do have it! Okay, the third book that I ever gave a 5 star is It's Not Summer Without You. Now, this is the second book in the trilogy of The Summer I Turned Pretty, and the reason I gave this one a 5 star is because I remember reading it and just being like, this one, I don't remember the series being this good. The second book is definitely my favorite. It's basically about Belly's life. I'll read the back for you because I don't want to mess it up. Belly's life is going to change. Her relationship with Conrad that fizzled out this past winter, she'll be staying home for the first time, and her best friend Taylor has lots of plans for them. But when Jeremiah calls and says that Conrad has disappeared, all roads seem to lead back to the beach house. I found that this book was like the most exciting. Personally, I didn't like the last book that much. I just couldn't relate to it or like understand it that well. But this one was exciting because Conrad had disappeared, and then they all went back to the beach house trying to find Conrad. And I think this was, I kind of haven't read this in a while, but I think this was when they were like about to sell the beach house or something. This was like total summer vibes, so I really recommend reading the first one and then definitely read this one. Okay, the third book that I ever gave a 5 star, I don't actually have it with me because like I said, it's in storage. Not a storage bin, it's in a storage, like, what's it called? Closet? No. Container? It's in one of those storage facility units. There we go. But it is called When in Rome by Sarah Adams. This book is my favorite book. I'll honestly give it a 10 star, like genuinely. If you guys have ever seen the Hannah Montana movie, just picture that movie in a book form, but so much better. The book is Grumpy Sunshine. It follows Noah, who's this grumpy pie shop owner in Rome, Kentucky. And then there's Amelia. Amelia is a pop star, and she's trying to escape her pop star life, so she drives to Rome, Kentucky. She wanted to go to Rome, Italy, but it's too far, so she was like, I'll just go to the next best thing, which is Rome, Kentucky. So she drives there. Her car breaks down in front of Noah's yard, and he goes out, and it's like the middle of the night, to go help her, and she's terrified because like a random man is approaching her in the middle of the night, so she's like, no, don't help me, like I'm scared of you. but eventually he gains her trust after a while. She winds up staying at his house, and she's like this super kind of bubbly, happy person, at least that's what I remember. And Noah is this really grumpy guy that's just like, I own a pie shop because it was my grandma's. And throughout the book, he liked Amelia kind of from the start, but he was denying it. And he was like, we can't be together. I can't have feelings for you because my last girlfriend, you know, cheated on me or something. It was something like that. His last girlfriend like left him. And so he has trauma from that, so he doesn't want to get close to her. But eventually he gets close to her, and the rest is history. It's my favorite book. If you buy any of these books that I recommend you that book. So the next book that I gave a 5-star is another Sarah Adams book. This is Practice Makes Perfect, and it's about Annie. So there's Will. Will is the bodyguard from When in Rome. So Will is the bodyguard for Amelia, who's the pop star in When in Rome. And it follows Will and Annie. Annie owns a flower shop. Annie is this super cute, sweet girl, and she's like the bubbly girl. Will is like this super ripped bodyguard with like tattoos of flowers all over him. And the story follows their love story, and it's just really cute. Will the whole time says, oh, I want to leave Rome, Kentucky because it's too boring for me. I need to be in the city. And Annie is like, okay, then we can't fall in love. Also, Will really does not like relationships. He doesn't do relationships, and Annie, her whole like goal out of a relationship is to get married. They are not a good pair until they realize that Will actually does like the idea of marriage, because he likes the idea of being married to Annie. It's kind of Grumpy Sunshine, but it's like unexpected romance, I would say, because they're so different. Okay, the next book that I gave a 5-star, I think, which one did I read first? This one, Better Than the Movies. So this one, I hesitantly gave a 5-star, I will say. It wasn't like my favorite, but out of the books that I've read, I was like, this is pretty good. I'm gonna read the back because I don't really remember it. So it's about Liz and Wes. Wes is not boyfriend material. They're like next door neighbors. Wes was the kid that put a frog in her Barbie dream house. But flash forward 10 years. But Liz has had a forever crush on this guy named Michael who just moved back to town. But Wes can't help but like be jealous that she likes another guy. Wes is helping Liz get her prom moment with Michael, but you know, as they spend time together, they realize that they really do like each other's company. Wes likes being around Liz a lot more than he thought he would, because they were like, it's kind of childhood friends to lovers. That's what this trope is. It's like the cutest like rom-com book. I'm not a huge fan of rom-coms, which is why I'm not a huge fan of like rom-com things, but if you love rom-coms, you will love this book. The next book that I gave a 5-star is The Spanish Love Deception. This book took me over a year to read. Not actually, but I read it last summer when I was at the beach. I got to like this point, and at this point I had to go back to college, so I'm like, I'm gonna leave this book here because I don't need to bring it to college with me. Update: graduated college, decided to finish the book, and it ended very cute. I did really like it. It's basically about Catalina. She needs a date to a wedding. Yeah, so she's going to Spain for a wedding, and she has told her family that, oh, I have a boyfriend, like I'll bring my boyfriend to the wedding, but she doesn't have a boyfriend. So she goes to work. She kind of, this is very much enemies to lovers, because she doesn't like Aaron Blackford because he's this like aggravating, insufferable man. That's what it says on the back. He's really like irritating, but Catalina's desperate. She's like, I need a date for this wedding. I told my parents that I have a boyfriend. She begins to realize that he might not be as terrible in the real world as he is in the office. So yeah, he's really like an infuriating guy at work because they work together. But anyways, they decide to go to Spain together, and they fall in love, and it's so cute. This is kind of another like rom-com book, but it's more enemies to lovers, and I would say it's a little bit, it's not like really realistic, but it's like pretty, like you can imagine it happening. So yeah, and the big reason why she does want to bring Aaron to Spain is because her ex and his fiance will be at the wedding. So she's like, oh, I gotta show off and show these people that I've upgraded my life. But I will say that there's a lot of words on each page. Like, it did take me so long to read this book. I'm gonna give you guys the last book that I have kind of given 5 stars. I haven't finished it. Sorry. I am reading it right now. It's called Beach Read by Emily Henry. I've never read any of her books before, but I actually got this at a thrift bookstore and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read that. I'm reading it and so far I love it. I love her writing. I love the dynamic. It's about two writers who just happen to live right next to each other. Actually, so January is the girl lead in this book, and her dad passed away and left her his beach house, but she doesn't really like the beach house because it's where her father would escape with a different woman because he was like cheating on his wife. It just so happens that Gus lives right next door and he is an author just like she is, so they're both writers, and Gus is more like a grumpy guy. He likes to write more like serious books, and she likes to write romance books, so they clash at a lot of different angles in this book. They make a deal that Gus, the guy, is gonna write a romance book and she's gonna write more of a serious book, so like that's where I'm at in the book right now. So I haven't finished it, but I think it's gonna be a 5-star. Like I can kind of already tell. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video seeing my 5-star reads, and I will see you guys next time. Subscribe for more. Bye!